Thrillingly distinct murder scenes, MacGuffin plot devices, blondes in peril, wrong man escapes, and spy adventures leading to chases with extraordinary climaxes in monuments from the British Museum to Mount Rushmore. These trends can be found in many of the famous director Alfred Hitchcock's movies. This is what makes him a true example of an auteur. An auteur is an artist with such a distinctive approach to their film that the director is likened to the author of their film. Other examples of auteurs include Wes Anderson and Quentin Tarantino. Who is Alfred Hitchcock? Born in London in 1899 to strict Catholic parents, he described his childhood as lonely and sheltered. He was once sent to the local police station by his father with a note asking the officer to lock him away for 10 minutes as punishment. His mother would force him to stand at the foot of her bed for several hours as punishment, a scene alluded to in his film Psycho. This idea of being harshly treated or wrongly accused would later be reflected in his films. Many of Alfred Hitchcock's influences into the style of his filmmaking include D.W. Griffith. The classical cutting techniques dating back to D.W. Griffith have stood the test of time and still prevail today. He called Griffith the Columbus of the screen. Notably The Avenging Conscience or Thou Shalt Not Kill 1914. Cecil B. DeMille, director of Forbidden Fruit in 1921, whose plot influenced many of Hitchcock's films such as Rebecca, Under Capricorn, and one of his most famous films, Vertigo. The German Expression era of filmmaking is also a big influence of Hitchcock's style of filmmaking. Quote, "My models were forebear after the German filmmakers of 1924 and 1925. They were trying very hard to express ideas in purely visual terms. We can see how Hitchcock was influenced by some of the characteristics that were borrowed from this era, such as high angles, deep shadows or chiaroscuro lighting, extreme camera tilting, and impossible sets. Notable films from this era include The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Nosferatu. A style choice of Hitchcock's that more supports the auteur theory is his use of surrealism, most notably in his title sequences and dream sequences created by Saul Bass. Saul Bass was an American graphic designer and Oscar-winning filmmaker who was best known for revolutionizing film title sequences. Not only did Hitchcock work with Saul Bass, he also collaborated with many other people on multiple of his projects, something that really drove home his distinct style. The composer Bernard Herrmann, who composed scores for Hitchcock films such as Psycho, The Wrong Man, Vertigo, and North by Northwest. Robert Burks, who was the cinematographer for films such as Vertigo, Rear Window, To Catch a Thief, and The Birds. And costume designer Edith Heath, Hollywood's most famous costume designer who won 8 Oscars for her work in film. Plot devices. Plot devices such as the icy blonde, who the hero must pursue, innocent, falsely accused hero burdened with guilt or proving his innocence, and the MacGuffin. Alfred Hitchcock often capitalized on a gimmicky plot element to catch the viewer's attention or serve as a distraction that would propel the plot along its course. Usually, the MacGuffin initially appeared to be of the utmost importance as a catalyst, something that everyone in the plot wanted or was chasing, but actually was unimportant and only functioned to intentionally misdirect the audience. The MacGuffin then quickly faded into the background and ended up being trivial, irrelevant, insignificant, or incidental to the film's story by its ending. Overall, it is clear to see how Hitchcock is revered as one of the most influential and successful filmmakers of the 20th century, his distinct style and personality becoming an iconic symbol of filmmaking and making him a true example of the auteur theory.